warmed up for you, Mayor. But I was just saying, so you play those instruments. Do you write music?
Yes, I write music as well.
What kind of music do you write?
Well, I was in an R&B group for a lot of years, so I wrote for that group. You know, R&B is soul music.
Oh, I know what R&B is. You got to look at my age. I grew up with that.
Yeah. I mean, that's the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're trying to bring it back in a new and fresh way. Some people think we're getting it, some people don't, depending on what you like. But yeah, I did music for a lot of years. We never had that major hit you need in the music business. You know, you need hit records, and we never got to that point. So I kept writing, and I do indie projects now, so I work with artists.
Now, do you write music and lyrics? Do you write both?
I do both, yes, sir. And I actually write articles as well. You know,
so now that voice you have, do you sing with it, or is it just a booming radio voice?
Well, this is what I tell people. I was in a singing group for a lot of years. I wasn't the lead singer, but I can hold a note.
I bet you can.
You know what I mean? So that's what I tell people about the singing.
So let me use this opportunity. He did arrive. As you know, Mayor, I'm the opposite of a relief pitcher. I come in early when you're stuck in the bullpen. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Mayor Ernie Davis, of course.
You know, the earlier I get up, the later it becomes, because I try to squeeze so much into it.
It's good to see you, and if I may remind you of your most famous quote. About 7 years ago, the mayor came in to do his show, Jeff. Mm-hmm. And I said, Mayor, it's good to see you. And he said, it's better to be seen than viewed.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
especially these days.
I will leave you gentlemen to your own devices. It was a real pleasure to meet you. Have a great show, Mayor.
It was a great pleasure to meet you as well. You have a blessed day.
Mayor, go ahead.
Okay, we have arrived.
In Mount Vernon, but I went to my school years in Springfield, Mass.
Springfield.
I actually moved back to Mount Vernon when I got like maybe 21, 22. So, you know, and I've been in and out. I lived in Connecticut for a little while, then I moved back to Mass, and now I've been back in New York for like 10 years.
Okay.
So I'm in Mount Vernon.
What brought you back?
Well, my love for the music and the belief that I could probably do more with what I wanted to do with the music and you know, my life. I thought I could do it better here than I could in Massachusetts. So I ended up Springfield Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's where I went to high school at, and my brother and sister actually still live in Springfield.
So how is life there? I mean, it's slower, I guess.
It's slower. I think if you're raised in a family, I think it's a good place to be. You know what I'm saying? But you know, me as a single man, and try to make some good music, I think New York was had a little bit more opportunity for me, and a little bit more flow as far as being around different people that are trying to do the same thing. But Springfield's a great place to raise kids and you know, do your thing. You know, it's definitely got that type of energy with it. You know, it reminds me a little bit of Westchester. But in Westchester, what makes Westchester unique is that you're like 20 to 30 minutes right out of New York City.
Right.
So you can get in and do your business and get out of there, you know. So Springfield reminds me a lot of Westchester, to be honest with you.
Now, how close is Springfield to Boston?
That's about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
did you spend time in Boston?
I used to go to Boston a little bit here and there. You know, we go up there, go shopping, or sometimes we talk to a couple of our friends up that way. A couple of guys I went to high school with ended up going to college up there. So we would go up there and visit Boston College, BU, great colleges in that area. And even Springfield has some great colleges. They call it the 5 College area in Amherst. And in Springfield's maybe like 20 minutes from Amherst. So there's a lot of good schools up there, you know, a lot of cultures as well, you know.
Mm-hmm. I hear that you play for a church. Is that true?
Yeah. I play for a Baptist church on Sunday mornings, first, second, and fourth Sunday, called Springfield, the New Springfield Baptist Church, which is ironic with me coming from Springfield. So,
where is that located?
It's on 128th and Park. It's a small church, and that's where Pastor. I'm slipping my mind. What's Pastor's?
Well, I'm glad it happens to you too.
Yeah. Cause I got a lot I'm thinking about. But our pastor.
Well, what's the denomination?
It's It's a Baptist church.
Baptist church.
That's been a Baptist.
Get Down Baptist Church.
Yes, the Get Down Baptist Church. They go in on it. They get their praise on. So, you know, I grew up as my father being a preacher.
Oh, your father's a preacher?
Yeah, my
Where's
father's
he from?
preacher. He's from Alabama, but his church was in Massachusetts for a while. Now he's back. He's retired. He retired to Alabama, and he actually does a radio show in Alabama where he spreads the good word as well. Patricia Morris is the pastor. I want to make sure. It just came to my mind. Pastor Patricia Morris. She's our pastor.
How long have you played there?
I've been there for about a little over a year now.
Oh, okay. You just got there.
Yeah, just got there. You know, it was.
What made them hire you? Did you audition for it?
No, I didn't have to audition. What happened was. Well, I was playing for an African church actually in Connecticut, and that didn't work out. I don't know exactly what happened with that, but I didn't actually.
How long were you there?
I was there for about a year and a half, so it was kind of short stint.
Now, is there? This is African as opposed to African American, right?
Yeah, they were still from Africa.
Yeah. Now, did you notice any subtleties in their service, their music?
Well, me as a musician, when I talk about like gospel music and the way I was raised in a Pentecostal background. Oh, so you know, fire, brimstone, they fall out, they they worship, they speak in tongues and all that. So the way I identify with church is people that go in. You know what I mean? And the Africans, they went in, they praised hard, they loved God, and they were giving 110% when they were there. So, you know, that's the way I identify with when it's time to worship God. You know, some people do it a little bit more conservative. Some people go all out. But you know, me coming from the Pentecostal background, that's kind of, I'm kind of used to that. So, you know, they would get the spirit and go in like that. You know, that's what it was.
So. Oh, I hear the music. We're going to have to take a break. Doesn't mean you sing, but we're going to have to take a break.
Yeah, no singing. I'm going to leave that to the guys that do that professionally.
But we'll be right back right after the break. We are back, and we're in the studio with Jeff Suttles, and he is a musician of note, and originally he was from Mount Vernon, left Mount Vernon, and went to...
Massachusetts, Springfield, Mass. Yes, sir.
And now he's back. So, how does it feel to be back?
Well, a lot has changed in Mount Vernon. You know, I actually left Mount Vernon to live in White Plains for maybe about 3 or 4 years, and then I came back. So the Westchester area, once again, I always appreciated it because you can get that, you can get that life where it's kind of like, kind of rural. You get in and out of the urban areas, but then you got that, you got space around here. We looking outside, there's houses, and, there's room for you to run around, which is the way I grew up when I was in Massachusetts. So I appreciate Westchester for that, you know what I mean? But yet, if I gotta be in Brooklyn to go to work in a little while, so I'm gonna head down, hit the subway and do that, and I'll be in the city, you know what I mean? So you can get in and out of the city from Westchester. So I appreciate that. And, Mount Vernon has changed a lot. It's a lot of different things going on. And, I see some of the older guys around that I knew when I was here before, and some aren't here. So, you kind of weigh it out. But I think that the city's headed in a good direction. I think you did a great job for all the years. All the things I heard about you were always positive. And you had a long run as the mayor.
Yeah, 16 years.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. You're like Bloomberg's category, right? You're one of those guys. So, man, hats off to you. Much respect.
Well, thank you very much. Mount Vernon fits into my philosophy. I basically think that politicians should be about not themselves, but the job they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so what we try to do is go deep into the hood and try to get people to think another way. And the reason we can do that is that you give them something.
Yeah.
If you don't give them nothing, then all you do is complain, and that just does not work. What I see in politicians, and it's understandable, if you do that for a living, you're going to do what you think that's keep you living the way you're living.
That's right.
And so if, for instance, a politician, they go into districts, they know who votes and who does not. So, and so sometimes people don't get the services that they need because they can't depend on them to support them. So it's one hand washes
the other. That's yeah. That's truth. That's truth.
The founders never envisioned that politicians would be professional politicians.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to do your term and go back to the people. But now you want to stay on the stage forever.
Yeah.
And so in order to stay on the stage, you have to placate. Sometimes if you're not too good, you'll lie.
Yeah.
But of course they catch you. In the White House with no experience.
Yeah.
And so in some ways, Trump is one of the most truthful politicians in that he tells you exactly what he thinks about it.
Yeah.
Now, you might not like it, but that's what you elected.
That's right.
And of course, for instance, you got this tax thing. A lot of people, some people, think it's a great thing. Well, it's a great thing for some people.
That's right.
But for most of the country, and I don't know if they've caught up with this, you're talking about a $2 trillion over 10 years, a little over $2 trillion when you look at the interest that it's going to cost. Okay, you got that. And he wants to get a tax breaks to 85% roughly to the rich. The next you want to beef up the military, all right? Okay, that's because you want to build a wall. Okay, that's you want to do the infrastructure. Okay, you got so much money.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So how do you balance the budget? Well, you don't. But by the time he gets out of there, we're going to have some hell to pay, I think. Because most people don't understand the significance of it. He's banking on a
misread. Yeah.
And to be able to sell to people, and he's able to do that. I watch him very closely, being in politics all those years. Is that you say, well, why does he get away with this? Well, because people want to get reelected, and they think that Donald Trump, who is a bully, will hurt their chances if he doesn't support them, the Republicans. And so he has figured out that he can do almost anything he wants to because people want to get reelected, and they think he will help them or hurt them. That's what they think.
Yeah.
And it's simple as that. I mean, behind closed doors they talk another story, but the whole initiative is, I want to get reelected. How do I do this? And that's the ticket.
That's right.
So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after the break.
Conversations with Ernie Davis on 1460 WVOX.
We are back. We're talking to Jeff Suttles. I learn a lot from talking to people. I tell people you should listen more than you talk. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth, and that means you should listen twice as much as you talk. Except for me and the talk show host. But normally
You working.
Yeah, but normally I get inspiration from the people I talk to. And all people, for instance, you walk the streets, if you listen to people, now most of it's going to be something that you don't want to hear or anything, but every once in a while, out of the mouths of the streets come things we should look for and be cognizant of. As a musician, I'm not a musician. I wish I were. If I had followed my parents' dictates, I would at least been a mediocre musician.
Yeah, take the practice out.
Yeah, but I wanted to play basketball, and my mama wanted me to play the piano, and I said, nah, that's not what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I play high school ball too, and the music side of me suffered, and I developed slower. I could have been putting more time into my music, but my friends played ball, and
yeah, peer pressure.
I don't even know if it was peer pressure. I just enjoyed playing.
Well, that's
basketball
pressure.
at that time.
I mean, it's not pressure that you have to do it,
Yeah.
but you see it, and you want to do it. So that's pressure. It's not you have to do it. But for instance, I was when I was in about 9th grade, and I dressed very well. I had bow ties and suede shoes.
You were doing it.
I was doing it. But my peers, a very small number of them, I had a cashmere sweater.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a cashmere sweater during my time
It was tough, right?
was 20. Very few people had them.
Okay.
They cost $26. I still remember.
Wow.
And a sweater, you could get a good sweater for $13, $14.
Mm-hmm.
So I want this cashmere sweater.
Want that cashmere.
But so I'm asking how to get them. They stole them.
Oh yeah.
And they said we go downtown, and we're in big coats and
Stuff them in there.
and
Yeah.
stuff in it.
Yeah.
So we're going down next week. So why don't you go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, peer pressure. I
Peer
don't want
pressure, yeah.
I don't want to tell them, no, I ain't going to do this.
Uh-huh.
But I thought about it. And then I thought about what my mother said. My mother said, if you ever get caught stealing,
Mm-hmm.
2 people are going to get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
You for stealing, me for trying to kill you. So that resonated in my mind that, wait a minute, So when they said, I'm going down to do this, I said, no, because I reasoned even then, Mama will go in my drawers, where I keep my clothes.
Yeah. Let's see what you got.
People were going to ask where did Ernie get this sweater that's so pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm young. I was younger than the group. I graduated from high school at 16, so I was very young.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be the one they get caught. So, no, this ain't worth it. So I made sure that I didn't follow. Even though I wanted that sweater, I really wanted that sweater, but I didn't want the consequences that go with it. Now, to young folks now, a lot of them don't understand the consequences of the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
And everything has a consequence to go with it. And so, when I spend time talking to young folks and let them know there is a consequence for everything.
That's right.
Like I asked you, you couldn't be the musician you are never practicing.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though you may be very good and stuff, but if you don't keep the fingers loose and then you start, and when you really get good, you start to get inspiration you might get inspiration from, in this case, 3rd Street. Somebody might be saying something, you say, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
that, let me see. And then you start running it through. Yeah, inspiration. We all live for each other.
That's right. I mean, you get inspiration from many different areas depending on where you're at in life and where the Most High is speaking to you from. I can appreciate things that's going on in the hood as well as I can appreciate things that are going on Wall Street. And you just have to find that sensibility to be able to relate to people. Music is people. You know what I mean? When I'm playing, that's rhythms that I see with people. The way you walk, the way you talk, conversations I heard. So in that way, it's very therapeutic to a lot of things that I had to endure in my journey. You know what I mean? It's an outlet and it's a way for me to express myself. So I thank the Most High that He gave me that ability to do that. So a lot of people, admire the fact that you're into music because a lot of people like music and would love to do it, but the actual time it takes to condition yourself to practice and put the daily grind in to get good at it, a lot of people can't get to. So I think I could relate to what you were saying, like, you get one person every now and then that defies all the rules, but most of the time you got to put the work in to be good. And I'm sure as a politician as well, you put a lot of work in and studying and you research and talking to people, so you were able to connect with people to have the run to run as long as you did. You had to be connected to people, and people had to feel your energy to believe that you were the right person for the job for so long.
Let's get to who influenced you? Why did you go into music?
My major influence into music. Well, I'll tell you, my father was a pastor, so I got drafted. Somebody had to do music, so that was my actual responsibility as his small church, as he tried to build his small church. So I was doing music there, and they put me in music lessons when I was like maybe 5 years old. I started off on a guitar, and I won a couple of contests. So I think they knew that I had a knack for it, and they kept me going in it. I took lessons, and then I had friends that were good, that I hung out. Some of my buddies were really talented. When it came to music, I had life issues, but when it came to music, they were really good. And I just kind of soaked it in and kept growing, and still am growing. So that's kind of how I got into music, just the gospel stuff, and just me having to play on Sundays every week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday night. My father was having services, so on those nights, if I didn't practice during the week, I was playing basketball maybe the other times. I had to get on and try to improve myself during those times of the week. So I think that's kind of what kept me conditioned. And then I always enjoyed just the music side of it. I think they could tell I had an interest in it from an early age.
You're a preacher's kid. Preachers tend to turn out problematic children. You ever noticed?
Yeah, the PK thing. I've definitely heard it and seen it.
How did you escape that?
I don't know if I escaped it, man. It's still some time to go, I'm still living and learning and making mistakes. But I think that being in Massachusetts and
we're gonna have to break here, and then we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back with Jeff Suttles.
All right.
And we are back, and we're talking to Jeff Suttles. Let me give a plug in for my city. We do a lot of things wrong in Mount Vernon. There's no question about that. But we do at least double the amount of good. And through the soil of 4.2 square miles, this city has produced talent that plays on the world stage, the national stage, and of course the local stage. And Jeff is one of the exponents that I'm proud to say has that Mount Vernon soil, so much so that he went away, but the Vern is still in him. I think it's, but what is happening in relatively recent years is that we haven't understood, number one, how to get along. I'm talking about the political leaders generally. And in my opinion, we have elected too many people that has inspiration. I think that's tinged with satanic ingredients, and it's forgotten that it's for the people. And I'm going to have more to say about that, because the worst thing you can do is this is sheer way for evil to exist as good people do nothing. And so you're going to hear my voice. The old man is back because it's just egregious what the direction I see my city going. And so either you stand up or you lay down. And I cannot talk one way and do the other. My mother has said, I'm always quoting my mother and my grandmother. My granddaddy, I watched because he was an entrepreneur. He had his own farm. He had 86 acres. And then his offspring sold the farm and got nothing for it. And that's something I can never forgive, being that stupid, not to understand where you are in life. But we'll get over that. But we need to celebrate the positive things about our city. I was a good friend of Betty Shabazz. For those who have been under a rock, Betty Shabazz is the wife of Malcolm X. And so we shared a lot of moments together. And she said this: find the good and praise it. Find the good and praise it. Now, she lived in the same community I lived in for many years, and she has a very imposing house on 5th Street. And we were, it had fallen in disrepair, so understanding the tinge of history, we started to fix it up. This new administration has no such feelings for history, and so they ignore it. They also ignore John Stevens' house, which is the founder of Mount Vernon. Ignore that.
I didn't know that.
Memorial Field has produced a lot of history. They want to tear that down to put 8 lanes when they already got 6. That kind of stupidity cannot be ignored. And it has to be exposed. And my whole thing is that if you don't understand your past, your future is not going to be too clear, because you know nothing.
That's right.
And when you know nothing, you will act like you know nothing.
True.
And you will be persuaded by those who know nothing.
That's right.
And so for those out there who do know something, let's get on the good foot, because it does not help you to have and go to your grave and leave a lot of ignorant folks to follow you.
That's right.
And this is what we've done in recent years in Mount Vernon. And that has to be exposed.
Yeah, I could see the sustainability. You know, I work in Brooklyn and at the waterfront. They talk about sustainability and the environmental justice. You're talking about environmental and social justice is what I'm going to school for. So, I mean, I see what you're saying, man. You know, to preserve our natural resources and to honor those who have paved the way that come before us is totally where we need to be at as a community, you know, as people that are trying to educate the young. You know, like you said, if you don't know where you've been, you don't know where you're going. You know, you're lost out here.
Yeah.
And society's producing a lot of individuals that are actually looking lost out here.
Yeah, and some of them are in elected positions.
That's right. That's the truth.
And so what do? We cannot be trapped by the least of us. And what I like about you, and is I know your background, and even though you may stray, you still have that background.
That's right.
But what happened if you didn't have that background?
Ooh.
You had nothing to go back to.
That's right.
And this is what I tell the older folks, is that when I grew up, I had to listen to older folks.
That's right.
And we couldn't speak. My granddad and grandmama said, "Boy, don't you know that grown folks are talking?"
That's right. That's right.
And what's implicit in that is that you know nothing.
True.
And if you don't listen, you will continue to know nothing.
True. True.
And years of experience, I tell folks, listen, I didn't get this old about being a fool.
True.
And somebody, oh, you're old. Well, if you're lucky, you'll get old.
That's right. That's right.
And if you listen, you will get old with some authority and some intelligence that you can pass on. Now, there's a lot of old fools out here. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But those who listen will be better off. And I don't mean that you're guaranteed a long life, but you're guaranteed a productive life.
That's what's up.
And that's what's up. Some of the people that we admire most died young. Martin Luther King was only 39. Malcolm X, 39.
That's right.
And if you go through history, the people who have made the most impact died young.
That's right. That's right.
And they stood for something.
Yeah.
You should be ashamed to walk down the street ignorant, standing for nothing. In class, you always had a class clown, and the teacher would say, "An empty wagon makes the most noise." And so, listen, you are going to be at the Mount Vernon Public Library on February 28th. What's that all about?
Yeah, we're going to be at the Mount Vernon Library on February 28th. Hopefully I get my cousin to come out and hold some rhythms on the drums, and I'm going to play a little piano. It's going to be the Black Business Expo, where people can come out and celebrate the last day of Black History Month. So we're going to come out there and just celebrate blackness, black excellence, as they say. You know what I'm saying? And Coleman is putting an event together. My homegirl Shanice Coleman asked me to come out and share. And, I'm going to come out and do what I do and connect with the people. I had a good time. I saw you at Rappacon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We had a good time with just fellowshipping with the community. And, I'm in the city a lot, so I'm in Mount Vernon when I go to sleep at night. I mean, I go to school here and I work.
That used to be me. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I came here in 1960, right after I graduated from A&T. And
A&T, the Aggies.
Yeah. Aggie pride.
That's a good institution.
I grew up in black colleges because that's a time where you mature and you start to understand. The sit-ins were in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so I know what I'm about. And I know that as you get older, you start to understand what's really important. If you got a lot of money, your kid's going to fight over it.
That's right. But money. It's not money. It's not money. Happiness is not money.
And so, listen, the time is running out. Oh, let me just say to my audience that next week I will not be on the show. I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and then I'm going to Atlanta, GA, and we're going to spread the word of the Vern all throughout the South.
Oh yeah. Got to do it.
So I will be back though to your function.
Mm-hmm.
And
on the 28th, you're gonna be there.
February 28th. Look for me. I'll be there at 6 o'clock, right?
6 o'clock, yes, sir.
I will be at. Listen, thanks a lot for being here. I hope that we can do this again and get more in the depth of how you got where you are and where you expect to go.
I want to say what's up to all the people that tuned in, that I told to tune in. Thanks for listening. And I'm sitting here talking to a legend, a Mount Vernon legend, and I really appreciate you, man, and may God continue to bless you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. And thank you for listening. I'll see you week after next on this show, this place, same time, same place.